This is my straight face. I'm practicing using this straight face at the moment because it's going to come in very useful this week, because this week I'm going to Denmark on behalf of the Culture Show to interview Lars Von Trier. Actually, I've been set to interview him a couple of times before, but every single time he's cancelled the day before the interview is due to happen, so it might still happen. But if I finally get into the room with him, I'm going to be using this face whilst interviewing Lars Von Trier about his new movie, Melancholia. You see, here's the difficulty for me. There are some Lars Von Trier movies that I really like. I like Antichrist very much. I thought Charlotte Gainsbourg was great in it. I think there's lots of interesting stuff to be said about Melancholia. There are some Lars Von Trier movies that I absolutely hate. Breaking the Wind, which I just think is one of the worst movies of the last 25 years. And of course, The Idiots, which, as you may know, I got thrown out of the Cannes premiere of The Idiots for heckling the screen in very bad French. That was how much I disliked that film. But regardless of whether I like or dislike his work, I have pretty much a consistent policy on Lars himself, which is that I don't take seriously, or more precisely, I don't believe anything he says. For example, I don't believe Von Trier when he tells me that Breaking the Waves is sincere and that final shot, the shot of the bells ringing in heaven, is not meant to be sarcastic or funny. Nor do I believe him when he tells me that the boss of it all was shot with automovision to take the human interaction out of the process. I simply don't believe it. I'm also very sceptical about the apparent depression under which he suffered whilst making Antichrist. Now, many people attest to the fact that Lars was completely depressed whilst making that film, but was he? Was it an act? Was he putting it on? Do we have to believe him? I found myself in Radio 5 some time ago on air with Willem Dafoe talking about Antichrist. We talked about Lars's depression, which I told him I didn't believe in. And I said, I think that film's about misogyny. And he said, well, it isn't. And I said, yes, but you only think that because you made it. I, on the other hand, saw the film. And that, to me, is the key. You see, I think that Von Trier's texts speak for themselves. And I think whenever he talks, he's doing something that he knows is playful, that he knows is outrageous, that he knows is provocative, most importantly, that he knows is prankster. Now, of course, this all came to a head a couple of months ago when Von Trier pretty much got himself thrown out of the Cannes Film Festival for suggesting at a press conference that he was a bit of a Nazi. An outrageous, stupid, terrible thing to say, and people were outraged, but did he mean it? Was it a provocation? Was it a joke, albeit a joke in terrible taste? And that, it seems to me, is the key thing with almost everything Von Trier says about his work and about his personal life. He's almost daring you not to believe what he says. So my question to you is this: does it matter what a director says about his work or her work? Or should we, in the end, trust the tale and not the teller?